So what can you do in order to save money during high times of inflation? Well, I'm going to answer that in today's video. First, a lot of people keep on asking me over the past few weeks, we're seeing inflation at 6.2%. Is it going to come down? In my opinion, it's not going to come down quick enough that it's really going to matter. So if you are saving money, you got cash in the bank, it's not going to help. Your $5 will quickly turn into $4. Your $4 will then turn into $3, and then $2, and then $1. You do not want to be that person. Do not hold cash in the bank. Now, in order to help you save money, I have some tricks I want you to follow. But first, let me explain what I'm doing. I am heavily invested into real estate, into stocks, into cryptocurrencies. I also have multiple businesses. So that is how I'm investing. I invest into my businesses. I take the money that my businesses make, invest into real estate, and take the money that my business and real estate makes, invest that into stocks and cryptocurrencies. That's currently what I'm doing, but here's what I want you to do. If you don't have a lot of money, don't worry about it. You do not need a lot of money. I'm not going to tell you how to invest. There's a little section in this video where, yes, we're going to talk about investments, and that will be next. But the first thing you must do in order to protect yourself and save money during high times of inflation is, number one, buy a home, or number two, you need to sign on to a long-term lease for your home or apartment. Here's the reason why. Number one, if home prices keep going up and up and up, you want to make sure you get in very early. Now, are we too late? Are home prices going to just completely drop off? In my opinion, no. I did a video that I talked about this yesterday where I think home prices are going to increase over 2022. So here's what you can do. If you are looking to buy a home and you're lucky enough, you're fortunate enough to buy a home, great. Let's say you buy a home and let's say it's at $500,000, $500,000, and it goes up a little bit over the next few months, a little bit more after that, and at the end of the year, let's say it's worth $525,000. That's good. That was due to inflation. It went up. Maybe you increased it a little bit more in value because you did some renovations. It goes up to $550,000 or $600,000. That's great. That helps. That's one way to save money during times of inflation. The next thing, when you sign on to a long-term lease, here's what happens. Let's say you sign on to a lease right now, and let's say it's $1,500 per month. Great. Well, if it was a month-to-month lease, and let's say your landlord in 2 months sees, oh, inflation's going up, my property taxes are going up, insurance is going up, everything's going up. So instead of $1,500, your landlord decides, you know what, I'm gonna raise it to $1,600 or $1,750. Well, if you sign on to a long-term lease, your rent of $1,500 per month will stay $1,500 per month for whatever your lease is. So let's say it's for a 12-month or 24-month period. Your $1,500 lease stays $1,500 for that 12 or 24 month period. So the good thing about that is you signed on early, so you're not going to see inflation from your rent. That's good news there. So this is something that a lot of people don't do. A lot of people, and I know people myself, I have friends that sign on to a month-to-month lease because they don't have the ability, they don't have the credit, they don't have the money saved up to do a first and last month's plus a security deposit. So that creates a little bit of an issue. So they stick to a month-to-month lease. And right now, yes, that works for some, but if you have the ability to, sign on to a long-term lease. This can really help you out. The second thing, and this is very important, you should invest into stocks and cryptocurrencies. Right now, cryptocurrencies are, especially Bitcoin, is considered a hedge against inflation. And I believe cryptocurrencies are only going to go up. Some, yes, they're going to tank, but the majority of them are going to go up. If you diversify your money, your investment into cryptocurrencies over, let's say, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, things like that, they're going to do very well over the long period of time. So if it's a short-term investment, you're going to invest today and pull it out next week, you may not do so well, but if you put it in today and decide, in a year or 2 years from now, you want to see where it's at, chances are you're going to be doing exceptionally well. Now, One thing I do want you to understand is when you're investing into stocks, so you have to invest into the right companies, into the right stocks. Companies like Apple, Amazon, Facebook are probably going to do extremely well during these high times of inflation, but you need to understand that this would be a prolonged investment. Okay, if we see prolonged inflation, this is going to be a very good investment for you. Facebook, Amazon, and Apple, those three. Now, I want you to stay away from a company like Peloton or any companies that have really done extremely well because of this pandemic. Don't invest in those, because normally they're only doing really well because people are locked in their homes. For example, Peloton, this is particularly aimed at people that are at home doing fitness, right? And so this is the problem with a company like Peloton is as gyms opened up, Peloton's stock actually started to fall. And then the high price of their product makes it very difficult for lower income and middle income families or individuals to buy in without securing a loan for that piece of equipment. So that's not great news there. What I can tell you though, something that I'm investing into, and I think you guys should as well, it's called the JP Morgan Equity Premium Income. The ticker symbol is JEPI. JEPI. Now, the good thing about this company, number one, it's pretty level. Over the past, I believe, year, it's only gone up like $5. Okay, only like $5. That's it. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not great, but it pays a 7%. It's a little over 7% of a annual dividend. So that's actually very good. And I believe they pay out monthly. I have to check on this, but I believe they pay out monthly. Every single month on the first, they lock in their premium or they're locking their dividend and you get your payment. So it's good news there. But the JP Morgan Equity Trust, this premium income, this simply is investment into the large cap US stocks and equity linked notes. That's pretty much what you're invested into. So I like investing into them, especially if I'm not sure where I'm going to put my money for a certain period of time. I just invest into JEPI, JEPI. So if you want to invest into them, you can. You can go and open up a Robinhood account, a Webull account, TD Ameritrade. One of the ones that I really like using, especially as of late, is Webull. I will put a link down in the description box below as well. If you want to go and check out Webull, if you deposit any amount of money, but if you deposit $100, you can get 2 free stocks valued up to, I believe, $1,800. So make sure you go and check that out if you want to. It's a great way to start investing, and you don't have to invest a lot of money. You can also start for free. If you open up an account with a Webull, let's say you put like $5 in. I know that's not free, but put like $5 in. Webull will actually give you a stock, okay, just for signing up. But if you want the second stock, you got to deposit at least $100. Now, here's the next thing. In order to save money during high times of inflation, what you need to do is you need to cut back on non-essential expenses. I've talked about this many times in the past. A lot of people do this. They pay for things that are non-essential. However, they completely forget they're even paying for it. Here's what you need to do. Drop recurring memberships. These are things like gym memberships, Netflix, right? Drop those memberships. Drop those, because a gym membership, let's say on average $50 per month, $50 per month, 12 months out of the year, okay? That's $600 per year you're paying. You are paying to do something that you may or may not be doing. If you do not go to the gym, drop your membership. If you're not watching Netflix or HBO or Disney Plus, right, or Hulu, drop those memberships as well. Drop those subscriptions. You don't need them. Just pick one. If you hardly ever watch TV, there's no need to have Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and HBO Max and all those, right? Get rid of them. Stop paying for those. Here's the next thing. One of the biggest non-essential expenses that Americans face is we keep paying to eat out. On average, a normal American spends about $50 per week eating out. Get this. This is per person. Per person, it's $50 per week. Not per family, per person. So let's say you have a family of 4. That means you're spending on average $200 per week to eat out. Get this. If you save that money, you would essentially save about $2,600 per year per person. That means for a family of 4, you would save $10,400 at the end of the year. How big is that? Do you see why just eating in would save you money? And let me know down in the comment section below. Are you guys spending more money eating out than you should be? And if you know how much you are spending, let me know. If you would like to, let me know down in the comment section below. For one, I'll just give you this. There was a time a couple years back, me and my family and I were just so busy going every different direction, right? Work, the kids and sports and school and all this stuff. What happened was we spent close to $15,000 in 1 year eating out. That was insane. $15,000. That's a lot. It's a lot of money. That's more than many people will make in a year. That's big. Now, here's the other thing. In order to pretty much lower and limit your expenses, one of the things that I recommend is to get rid of paid apps. One of the biggest ones that people are spending money on right now are games. The next one is cloud storage. You may not even realize this, but if you're paying for cloud storage, you might maybe have an account with Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile, whatever. You could be paying $1 or $2 per month in order for cloud storage, in order to have it. Well, guess what? $2 per month is not a lot. $24 per year. It doesn't seem like much, but when you add up that with eating out, with other additional expenses, they all add up and could be a very big amount of money at the end of the year. So consider canceling those. Now, here's the next thing. And this is something that I highly recommend as well, because this is a great way to save money when we are in very tough times where we're seeing a 6.2% inflation rate. Here's what you can do. Call your creditors. Ask them if you could skip a payment. If you can skip a payment without paying fees, without paying any interest, whatever, right? Can you skip a payment? See if they'll allow you to do this. Because during the pandemic, many people found a lot of success by calling their creditor and asking if they could skip a payment. But here's what I want you to do. Do not just skip a payment for the sake of skipping a payment, because the money, the payment is going to be tacked on to the end of your loan. So here's what you need to do. If you skip a payment, take that payment that you were able to skip, put that towards a different payment, a different credit card, a different bill. Maybe you can combine all the skip payments that you have. Let's say you can skip a car payment. You can skip let's say 2 credit cards, right? You can skip those 2. Take those 3 different payments, lump them together. Get ahead either on your mortgage, on your rent, right? Get ahead on a bill, because if you can do this, if you can tackle these expenses early on, tackle these bills, what's going to happen is you're going to have more money at the end of the month. And if more money is there at the end of the month, as long as you don't spend it, you can roll it into the next month and you can be ahead on payments. So one way to save during high times of inflation is to pay things off early. Pay things off early. Don't get charged interest on your payments. Use all the money that you have. Invest it. Invest it. Pretty much get into a business. Buy a business, start a business, however you want to. Which leads me into number 5, okay, is if you can start a side hustle. I did this when I was very young, and it was one of the main things that I've done in my lifetime that got me to where I am today. Is I invested into myself, into businesses. I started a side hustle. I sold stuff on eBay, on Amazon, right? I'd flip items on Craigslist. I've cleaned people's homes. I started a landscaping business. I have, done yard work for other people. I pulled weeds when I was like 8 or 9 years old for neighbors, right? You do not have to be a kid in order to do a side hustle. You can be a 53-year-old, grandmother, right? It doesn't matter. All you have to do is start something to put a little more money into the bank. Remember, it doesn't matter if you start with $1. You build that to $2, to $3, to $4, right? And eventually, you got your money. You got some money. $5, not a lot. But just think about this. If you start with a 1, every single $1 that you have, if you can turn it into 5x your money, okay? You should be able to do a lot better than you're doing right now. One thing I can tell you, we are going to see more inflation. My guess is when we see the new CPI data that comes out in December for November, my guess is it's going to go up. If this does, make sure your money is not sitting in the bank, because your $5 will quickly go down to 1. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.